Hi all, I am Gaurav. Welcome to Introduction to Scala. I'm starting this series with an intent of sharing my Scala knowledge. Hi, and welcome to this continued discussion of classes in Scala. The concept of classes is not hard to master. In the previous video, we have already covered what are classes. We have learned about how to define the classes. We have also discussed on how to instantiate a class. Then we moved to constructors, primary constructors and auxiliary constructors. We discussed both of them. And finally, we learned about class parameters and how to access them outside the class. In today's discussion, we'll concentrate on fields and methods inside the class. So without wasting much time, let's get started. The concept of methods is not new. We have already learnt about the syntax and definition of methods in our previous videos. Here, methods define the behavior within a class and are called and we call these methods to do or perform some work on that particular instance of the class. As we have already seen, methods may or may not take input parameters, and methods may or may not have a return value. Let's examine a method in classes. As today we'll be looking at a bit of lengthy examples, so I'll be using both Scala Shell or REPL and Sublime Editor for the demo. I am going to declare a coordinate class with parameter as x and y. These parameters x and y are the representation of our coordinate on our graph. Now we can compile and load this coordinate class into our REPL using load command. You need to provide the path of your file to REPL and REPL will compile and load it. As the class is loaded, let us try to instantiate a couple of coordinates, an origin coordinate and a point on the coordinate graph. But this is no fun. We cannot do anything with these 2 points. Let us declare another method in our class to find the distance between these 2 points. The method distance takes in another coordinate instance to find the distance between the two. We use Pythagoras theorem to find the distance between these two coordinates. So we will first find the square of distance between x coordinates, then we'll do the same for y coordinates. Note how we are using POW method from maths package. POW takes two parameters, first the number and second the power of that number. Once we have square of both x-axis length and y-axis length, we need to find the root of sum of x distance square and y distance square to calculate the distance. Let us get back to REPL to compile and use our new method. Again, we'll declare two coordinates. One is origin and other one is a point on the coordinate graph. Now we will try to find out the distance between these two. And here we go. Our result is 5. All this is good, but if we think again, origin is fixed and we should not be providing origin to the class every time. Our coordinate class should be aware about the origin. On that note, let us introduce fields. So what are fields? Fields are the values that are already available to the instance of the class. Fields can be accessed outside the class unless specified otherwise. Fields are different from class parameters. Parameters are passed into the class and fields already exist within the class. Let us see field in action. I am going to modify our coordinate class. I will declare two fields to denote x origin and y origin and a new method origin distance. This new method will not take any input parameter. The method will form the origin coordinate using the fields available within the class and calculate the distance. As we have completed this method, let us declare a point again. And now we'll try to get the distance of this point from origin. And the answer is 5 again. Alright, as we are feeling comfortable with fields and methods in Scala, let us quickly cover infix notations. Infix notation is really powerful tool in Scala to write DSL or domain-specific languages. So what is infix notation? Whenever methods are called for an instance of class, Scala allows the method call without the use of dot or parenthesis if the method takes only one argument. As mentioned earlier, there is a powerful and flexible syntax to support DSLs or domain-specific languages. However, try not to use this feature because from my experience, it sometimes leads to a code that is not readable unless all the team members are comfortable with it. Let us examine how it works. To see infix notation in action, we'll go back to our coordinate class. I will reload and compile the class. Now, I will declare two new coordinates, C1 with parameter as 4 and 5, C2 with coordinates as 1 and 1. Let us try to calculate the distance between the two. I will call distance method on C1 and provide input as C2. Notice how I have not provided any dot or parenthesis while method call. This is called as infix notation. Here Scala will treat the first word as method call and second word as its argument. To read our code more like a plain English, let me change the method name from distance to from. Let us get back to REPL to compile our new version of coordinate class. I will declare coordinates C1 and C2 again. I'll declare this new val distance. Now we can read our code as distance is C1 from C2. Impressive, right? So that completes our Scala classes and its methods, parameters, fields, and infix notations. The more we practice, the easier Scala becomes. From my experience, Scala is relatively easy to learn and command. I hope you are enjoying this series. See you next time with some more Scala syntax. Thanks for watching. Please post your comments and suggestions.